know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Hä? Okay. Hä? So, hä?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ja, neue Runde, neues Glück.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ich kann jetzt nochmal runtergehen und nochmal einfach weiterlaufen. Ich wünschte, das hätte ich gemacht. Ja, wahrscheinlich ist da auch nicht besonders viel. Hier geht's auch nicht. Schick. Executive bathroom. Hallo. Komisch, wenn ich mir nach da gucke und Maustaste drücke, hört man nix. Wenn ich nach hier gucke und Maustaste drücke, hört man Getippe. Da geht nix. Auf jeden Fall schön hoch. Oh.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, so Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination. If he knew that the combo was 2845.
Liegt es nicht?
But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Get the hell along with the story. Da vorne. Na, jetzt habe ich sogar einen richtigen Code eingegeben. Aha. So. Hochinteressant. Das erinnert mich wirklich ein bisschen an Portal. Wo mag uns dieser Fahrstuhl hinführen?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Doch noch ein Horrorspiel? Nein, nein.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Nope.
Although this passageway had the word Escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Wow. Das wollen wir doch mal sehen. Lass mir von dir keine Angst machen.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Du machst mir keine Angst. What? Bin ich wieder am Start? Nö.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Shit!
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
The Stanley Parable, habe ich gewonnen?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Oh.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Mir fällt langsam nicht mehr viel zu dem Spiel ein. Nature Paintings. Ja, die haben wir alle schon gesehen. Stanleys Computer. Office Layout. Nee. Im Ernst? Ja! Da fangen wir an. Dann laufen wir hier durch. Da ist nix. Hier nach rechts. Wüsste ich jetzt gerade nicht mehr genau. Und da sind die zwei Türen. The two doors. Dann davon auch eine Erklärung. The set of two open doors was very first concrete piece. Was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an existence of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. Corridor. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the 2 doors in a good time. Office layout. This blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path of Stanley's office to the 2 doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development, though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. Ja, Einblick in die Spielentwicklung. The Office. 3 Türen, 1, 2 oder 3. Letzte Chance. Vorbei. Button Sounds. Das hört sich basic an. Button sounds. A selection of the sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Bis jetzt hatten wir nicht viele Button. Each sound is a mix of keyboard stroke and a synchronized tone. Wahnsinn! Hoch? Komm ich nicht hoch? Link-Cabinets. Aktenschränke. Mhm. Office Computers. Genau, mit Solitär drauf. Employee Database. Database. Ich würde gerne ein bisschen zoomen können, das wäre schön. Ja, ich kann nichts drauf lesen. Aber hier schönes Solitärspiel. Und... hier komme ich ein bisschen höher. Was steht da? Program... Weiß ich nicht. Huch! Bin schon ausgeschaltet. Den auch. Den auch. Ja. Credits. Wer hat uns das denn hier eingebrockt? Stanley Parable Credits. Written and designed by bla bla bla. Mhm. Mhm. So. Aha. Mhm. Sehr interessant. Jetzt. Office. Maintenance. Ich habe nie herausgefunden, wie man das ausspricht. An early version of the Maintenance. Aber so spricht man es mit Sicherheit nicht aus. Aha. So. Ja. Kopierer. Was machen? Ganz schön groß hier, was ist das denn? These are screenshots of the Stanley Parable HD Remix. Remix? The point of the Stanley Parable HD Remix is to win. The point of the Stanley Parable HD Remix is to lose. Woran erinnert mich das Stanley Parable? Ist das ein Buch oder sowas? Irgendwas kommt mir da schrecklich bekannt vor. More endings, fewer endings, more narrators, fewer narrators, more Stanley, less Stanley. Am I going crazy? Maybe it isn't the same image. Was that clock there before? I don't remember. How do I go back? Can you check for me? Larger. Words. Text. If someone could just get rid of the text, maybe then I could see what the game is about. Green light. In September 2012, we submitted the Stanley Parable to Greenlight, Valve's process of approving games for Steam. The Greenlight page has only a series of cryptic photos, which were still enough to win the community's approval. Ach so, ja, Greenlight, das Projekt von Steam, um neue Spiele aufzunehmen, wo die Community entscheiden kann, welche Spiele als nächstes verfügbar sein sollen. Alien Base. Ah. Tron. Warzone. Earlier in development we designed an ending where Stanley would end up upon a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game... Ah, ich bin ja noch nicht am Ende, oder? Ich will bitte... The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. From Forest Gainers, subject Dear Narrator. Hey, nicht so schlimm. How do I make a JRPG? How do you make the worst game ever? There is a skeleton inside of you. There are more skeletons in this world than humans. Thanks and goodbye. Are you gay? Dink dunk. Dunk. Subject gay. A question brought forth by the intense passion of my soul. Am I Stanley? Are you spying on me? I don't know. Why? How? Donate? General, will the Stanley Parable have infinitive quests? How many endings? If the Stanley Parable is really going to let me go shopping, I hope it will have a finite selection of... Weiß nicht. The narrator, how do you say stay in shape? Essentially the Michael, the Rock, Martin. How's the game going? I hope it's as good or better than the first one. From a cool man. Please, I would like to keep this proposal as a top secret and delete it if you are not interested and get back on... Viel zu lang, kann ich mir ein Video angucken. I want to tell you I like the Stanley Parable as much as I like seeing a humorously small badger in swim trunks. I indeed like it as a park watching... Too schnell. Well, the thing I want to know is what would you do if Stanley entered any other rooms? What is the difference between a duck? Fangen wir von vorne an? Oder sind die zufällig? Narrator emails. After the second trailer we sent out, we asked people to email the narrators for questions. While we had initially planned to use these in further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are the selection of those emails. Aha. The Office. The launch. An early version of the launch. Oh, Wand. Stanley's office. From left to right, the evolution of Stanley's office over time. The first was created in November 2011. The second in March 2012. Hochinteressant. And the third in February 2013. Ja, Final Version, oder? Sieht der noch echt ähnlich? Ja. Ja, also man sieht die deutliche Entwicklung, wie sich die Entwickler dabei Was? Ich meine, man sieht deutlich die Entwicklung, die hier reingesteckt wurde, was die Entwickler sich dabei gedacht haben. Es lässt wenig Raum für abstrakte Interpretation. Naja, okay, raus hier. Los, he. Weg, he. Game Design Mockup. This is the level that William, the level designer, sent Davey, the writer, as a kind of audition piece. The strength of this level got William hired to design the full game. Though much of the environment has changed, the basic layout from the mockup is still in the game. Exit. Ja, gucken wir uns aber erst noch ein bisschen um. Countdown Room. Ich glaube, ich muss mal kurz das Video unterbrechen. Ich nehme ja schon eine Stunde auf. Ich muss sowieso mal gucken, in welchen Teilen ich das hochlade. Ich werde es wahrscheinlich irgendwie zusammenschneiden. Naja, ich muss jedenfalls kurz unterbrechen.